Worksheet number 7, driving for force of reactions. So now, question number 1. Suppose that a reaction has a delta H of negative 24 kilojoule and delta S of negative 0.06 kilojoule per Kelvin. At what temperature will it change from spontaneous to non-spontaneous reactions? If you remember from the handout, when delta G is positive, so it's a non-spontaneous reaction. So here in the question, at what temperature will it change from spontaneous to non-spontaneous reactions? So non-spontaneous reactions means delta G is positive. So what is the rule of delta G? Delta G equal delta H minus T delta S. In which case the answer will be positive. Here delta H carry positive sign and T times delta S. Here this term has a negative sign. So in which case the total is positive when delta H is greater than temperature times delta S. So what is delta H? It's negative 24 must be greater than temperature times delta S. Delta S is negative 0.06 over negative 0.06 over negative 0.06. So here temperature, when you divide by a negative charge, so this sign reversed. So here you have to move the decimal 2 units. So here you have to add 2 zeros. So negative 2400 over negative 6. So negative sign with negative sign, they deleted each other. 2400 over 6, which is equal 400. So temperature must be greater than 400. So which answer? Here, greater than 46.7 Kelvin, greater than 400 Kelvin. This is the correct answer. So the answer is B. So now the second question. The entropy and enthalpy of reaction are both negative. Is the reaction spontaneous? So, what is the rule? Delta G equal delta H negative or minus T delta S. So here from the question, enthalpy and entropy are both negative. So here it carry negative charge, and this term negative with negative, it's a positive charge. So the questions, in which conditions the reaction is spontaneously? So spontaneous reaction means delta G is negative. So in which case delta G will be negative? When enthalpy is greater than temperature times the entropy. So which of these the correct answer? The reaction will be spontaneous if and only if the enthalpy the enthalpy is greater than the entropy? No. Enthalpy must be greater than temperature times entropy. So, no. The reaction is spontaneous? No, it depends. It depends on the amount of delta H and T delta S. The reaction will be spontaneous if and only if entropy is greater than the enthalpy times temperature? No. It's spontaneous when enthalpy greater than temperature times entropy. The reaction is non-spontaneous? No, it depends on the amount of negative and positive charge. So here, the reaction will be spontaneous if and only if enthalpy is greater than the entropy times the temperature. So enthalpy is greater than temperature times entropy. So which is the correct answer? So the answer is E. So here again for this question, for spontaneous reaction, delta G must be negative. And here according to this question, enthalpy carry negative charge and entropy negative charge. And here you have negative, so it's positive. So in which case delta G will be negative? When delta H, which carry negative charge, greater than T times delta S, which carry positive charge. So the negative charge must be greater than the positive charge. So now question number 3. A system with, here you have choices for enthalpy, positive or negative, and here for entropy, negative and positive, will never be spontaneous. If you remember from the handout, when enthalpy is positive and entropy is negative, always non-spontaneous reactions for all temperatures. It's a non-spontaneous reaction. So again, when delta H is positive, so here positive enthalpy, and when delta S is negative, so positive enthalpy and negative entropy. So this is the correct answer. Now